Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aries. If Aries is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so Aries, we have the Two of Discs, which really is all about things coming into balance, us utilizing our higher thinking, the blessings of the divine, those things that exist in that macrocosm, right? If you could think of like the lower, the earth, the physical, our waking lives as being the microcosm, the little sphere, and then there's the big sphere way up here, and that's the microcosm or macrocosm. And so all energy is flowing from above down into the below, and from the below into the above, all things in their right place. Yes, hopefully, right? Okay, let's see. We're gonna check this out and see, what are these tea leaves? Oh, I see a face immediately. So actually two faces, but first I saw a side profile. We have kind of the nose right here. You can see the mouth, a little goatee or beard. The eye maybe would be like right up here, looking out this way. Maybe kind of even like a little hair that flips in the front. I was trying to just remember, what was that called? I had something similar when I was maybe 17 for a little while. It was called a faux hawk, I think, where it's kind of a pompadour. If you know what that is, it's like the bangs in the front flipped back. Kind of a masculine hairdo, or it used to be anyways, back in the day, not even when I was a kid, way before that. And so I'm looking at this and I feel like we have somebody who's very stylish, kind of almost gives like a hipster vibes, somebody really cool, right? Just like super cool. Now this might be a friend, this might be somebody in the family. Every family has at least one hipster, right? One cool cat. And if you're lucky, you have like a family of hipsters or weirdos. Like my husband and I and my daughter, we're the weird Addams family of our larger family. So every family has at least one person, sometimes more than that. I always think of that kid on The Wedding Crashers, the brother. Although it's ridiculous because I grew up being pretty an outsider, counterculture, but for some reason he is an archetype that has stayed in my mind. And if you've never seen the movie, stay right here on YouTube when you're done and go look up a clip of the brother. He paints. He's on The Wedding Crashers, and pretty funny. So anyways, we also have a face up here, right here, and it looks like two eyes, nose, mouth. Reminds me of a young girl, or even like a doll or something. I really feel like this is maybe somebody who, like an uncle, like the cool uncle, very traveled, maybe like in a band, very impressive, then you grow up, you find out, oh, he was like in a bar band or whatever. But I feel like this is somebody that, even from a young age, there was just a lot of, I almost said envy, but it's not envy. You were drawn to this person because they were different. They were different than everybody else you knew. Probably different than most of the people you grew up around. Now, I think that probably there is maybe a feminine person in the family, maybe a mother, a grandmother, an auntie, somebody, okay, who really it was like one of those people who never come around with good news. It's always bad news. It's always drama. I'm looking at this face right here. Now we have the little girl's face. You can see up here. But if we just kind of block that out, okay, and I'm trying to, let me see how I could do this. Let me just use this, right? If we block this out, okay, block the girl's face out, you can see, and I'm only doing this because I want you to be able to see it. I look at images all day long. I do readings, multiple readings, at least a few a day, 7 days a week. Everywhere I look, if I'm looking at wood, I'm looking at rocks, I'm looking at the sky, I'm looking at soup that I'm making, I am seeing images because my brain is trained like that now. But I want to cover this so you can see more clearly. So we're going to cover her up. Now, beneath, you can see right here, eyes, nose, mouth, okay? And she looks like she's just in kind of a little bit of distress, but also maybe somebody that's just, if you could imagine, like screaming internally forever, right? There's just this feeling of, maybe it's suffering, maybe it's anger, maybe it's, I don't even know. It's just anguish, right? This family member, who I feel like is like your parents' generation or older, maybe like their parents, really, I feel like made things often uncomfortable. And she might still be around, but I feel her kind of driving this uncle figure away. Why? I don't know. You know, all of our families have things, right? We have things that we don't want to claim as like, oh yeah, my family was, you know, maybe I don't even know what I can say for the algorithm because so many words are like, we're not supposed to say them. But yeah, what is a good word? I'm even gonna look it up. What is a synonym for this? That might be I'm sorry. I should have like a word and discriminatory. There we go. Maybe they were intolerant, discriminatory. I couldn't think of a word. Like, you know, just not very inclusive. Okay? We'll just say that way. Whatever it was about this family member, I see them maybe kind of, yeah, maybe not like outright, like you got to get out of here. We don't accept you, you know, but not treated well. And they left and they went out in the world and maybe they came back sometimes for holidays and that kind of thing. But I think in those rare moments, there was really this belovedness that you had for them. And I think it gave you even kind of the bravery to explore your own individuality, right? Your own style, your own aesthetic, all of these things. Now, we also have the number right up here. It looks like we have 48, 48, and then it's repeated down here, 48. So interesting, 4 and 8. And so 48, important number. 48, 48, 48. Very nice. And let's see. Okay, so we have somebody up here who looks like they are, I'm saying this is a magician, sorcerer, something like that. So we have that magician energy. We have the sword right here. We have the castle. We have the whole deal. This reminds me very much of like an Arthurian scene. Here we have the castle up here. We have the bird flying overhead. We have the mountain going down into, you know, maybe the Badlands over here. Down here we have the sword and the stone. We have like a little grove over here. We have a person out here in the sacred grove. We have a magician out here, maybe an evil sorcerer or something. And up here we have an oil lamp or a genie's lamp, and we have, it looks like it's been rubbed. So there is a real calling to good fortune, wishes being granted, a time to manifest. But the rest of it, I feel like it's kind of almost like you're starting out on your new hero's journey, right? Like maybe you've already kind of found some closure in the last chapter, and here you are beginning again. So I feel like there's this sense of some things in your way. Now we know the sword and the stone, the story, if you don't remember, is a stone. There's a sword in it. I think it's the Excalibur, which is Arthur's sword. He is young in this part of the story. He is a page boy, actually, that is an apprentice to a knight. And all of the knights around, or maybe is he an apprentice to a magician, to Merlin? I don't know. I'm thinking of the cartoon. I don't know how accurate that is to the stories. I should ask my husband. He is obsessed with Arthurian things. And Grail Quest things. Shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. Go check him out. His name is Paul. He's amazing. Very well read. An avid reader. So irregardless of like who he was paging for, right? All of these knights from all over the place, knights and, you know, other kinds of people, workers, people, tradespeople, peasants, whoever, right? People are coming, they're trying to get the sword out. Because why? Whoever gets the sword out is the next king. Next king of the land, or queen, maybe, I don't know. So Arthur, he's young, a kid, maybe like 12, I think. And he goes, he pulls it out. Because it was meant for him. There was some kind of spell to bind the thing. It could only be accessed by the right person, and Arthur was the right person. Now, we also have, and I do not remember her name, Morgana, maybe? Is that her name? I know that there's an evil witch, lady, sorceress, something in the stories, in the Arthurian universe anyways. Don't know much about her. If you want to tell us about her in the comments, go ahead. But I do feel like generally these archetypes are, they're present. We also have the lover, right? If you can imagine in these kind of medieval fairy tales, the beautiful princess or the beautiful knight waiting for their beloved beneath a tree in a sacred grove, and this is the only place that they can go to sneak away and have a little moment together. And so I think that you're operating in all of these sectors. There's a little bit of love. There's a little bit of, enemy rivalry, somebody who maybe is hating on you. I just watched so I'm super sensitive. I will cry if like a comment is too mean. I am affected by people's negative, perceptions of me. And I'm working really hard. It's getting easier as I'm getting older. Whatever. I care less and less really, but I am affected in the immediate, right? If somebody acts weird or they're mean or they say something that's out of pocket, yeah, I get my feelings hurt, but, where was I going with that? Where was I going with it? Oh, yeah. So I feel like there is, I don't know. I have to regroup. We were talking about the villainess, right? So I feel like for you, there is really this wanting to, oh, that's what it was. I just remembered. I got back to it. Cat Williams. I watched Cat Williams. I forget what the one is. It's his most famous hour, right? It's where he's wearing the green jacket, and he talks about like haters, having haters, right? If you don't have, you know, he said, if you start with 15 haters today, you better be working hard to get your 16th, or you're not doing it right. And that's hard. It is. It's hard to be that person in that mind state. Like, to be like, yes, I'm doing good, and all of these people are hating on me. I have, you know, people envying me and working against me and all of that. And not, you know, for me, I don't know, personally, I feel really like wounded by even the thought of that. I don't want haters. But of course, we're going to have them. We're not in control of how people act or feel or behave or, you know, whatever. So yeah, you got some haters. But you might be doing something right, according to Cat Williams, right? You might even need another hater by the end of the day just to prove you are doing it right. And yeah, and so we also have the sword. So I do see you kind of really coming into this place of figuring out what's next and really being able to access that. Right? There's so many times in life where we get to a point, things have been going our way. Maybe we got like a raise at work, or we got into a new, you know, we went to school, we're out of school, we have our new degree, we're going to get this job, you know, and it just doesn't work out the way that we think it's going to, right? It's a struggle. It's more of an ordeal than we thought it was going to be. This could be with money, work, relationships, family, your living situation, whatever it is. But I see you really taking this quite seriously, whatever it is. And where you might operate off of instincts in the past, this time, I see you really pumping the brakes and allowing yourself to kind of go over what is the situation, what is the best case scenario, what's the worst case scenario, how do I find the middle way? And this is a big evolution of self here, okay? Because, you know this, I know this. It's not uncommon for you, Aries, to just kind of go off of your first reaction or instinct. And usually, yeah, that's fine. But when it has to do with anger, when it has to do with feeling like, okay, you did me, I'm going to do you, right? Blood for blood, blood for blood, blood for blood, you know? And yeah, I understand that. I understand that feeling, exactly what that feels like. But part of evolving as a being is at least learning how to take a beat. Now, you might get right back on the same path or the same energy. Maybe that was the right reaction, you know? Just go scorched earth, right? But it might be that you see another way. And that's, I mean, that is, it doesn't, you might be sitting here thinking like, Lenor, duh, that's like, you're an adult, you have to do that. Not everybody operates that way. A lot of people don't. A lot of people actually derive a lot of, at least the sensation of power from just popping off, right? Look at like how many road rage situations there are. That to me just proves it. So I see you really, really just taking your time with this stuff. Figuring out what is going to benefit me in the long term. Not just in this moment when I want to, tell you what it is, tell you how it is, tell you about yourself and everything else. No. Thinking, what is the long term? What's going to happen here? If I just blow my top, if I just really go in, right? Probably nothing beneficial. But I see you realizing this. I see you putting this to work. Now, You are beginning something new. I don't know what happened. I don't know if you got divorced, if your kids moved out, if you moved across the country, you got that, new degree, that new job, whatever. Something has ended in your life and another part of your life has begun. You are going through a gateway of, like a rite of passage, okay? And this is going to be maybe the best era of your life. You're old enough to let go of a lot of that stuff we hold on to when we're young. The insecurities, the conditioning, the feeling like, I'm going to let somebody down, or I got to do what, my mom told me this is how I, will succeed as a lady, so I better act like a lady and do what a lady does and meet all the markers and then you get to be older and it's like, bro, come on. I'm just trying to live. I'm trying to have some ease. I'm trying to have some happiness once in a great while. If I can find a good show to watch and a snack that's not gonna, destroy my body. Listen, I've won, right? I know, I'm being silly. We're on day 2 of just ultra sugar. You can probably see I'm in one of my costumes. It's a crow. It's a giant crow onesie. And we're off to a party here in a little bit. Not a kid's party. Yeah. And I am feeling a little silly. It's the sugar. But I see you really taking this next part seriously, but also letting go of a lot of the stuff that has kept you held down. You're doing it your way. You're living the life that you want to live, or you're figuring out how you're going to do that. And that's the energy. Now, I feel like this is one of the more important transitions in your life, and it's leading to money. We have the fish right there. That tells me there will be resources. There will be money. Do not worry. Okay? Now, we also have, it looks like, I'm thinking in like 5 weeks, there's going to be some kind of trip, possibly, maybe a date or something like this. Okay, so we have 5. We have a little ship. We have a butterfly. It also looks like a heart. So I do see some kind of relationship in your life evolving into a deeper fondness. So this could be totally platonic, and this is just a good friend. You're going to go for a weekend together, and you find out, listen, you're like my family. We're 2 pieces of a larger thing, and we have found each other. Now, it might be that this is romantic. This could be one of your ones, one of the great 3 of your life, right? I subscribe to the idea. We have 3 great loves of our life. Not just because I saw it in that movie. Was it I think it's Once Upon a Time in America or whatever. I always mix it up. It's the one with Robert De Niro. Let me find it. I don't want to steer you wrong. Oh, Once Upon a Time in America. Is that the right one? Nah, that's the other one. No, I'm thinking of A Bronx Tale, I think. I think it's A Bronx Tale. Let me look. I know. I watch so many movies, you guys. It drives my husband crazy because it's so hard to find a movie that I haven't seen or he hasn't seen. We're trying to find something new. Yes, that's it. Once Upon a Time. Oh, no. A Bronx Tale. A Bronx Tale. Yeah, and they talk about that. Everybody has 3 greats in their life. And this might be one of your greats. I feel like it is. Okay, I'm going to be totally real with you. I feel like this is. I also feel like it's just you are changing as a person. You know, you are all grown up. And I do. I feel like you are in a place where maybe you are ready to have a different kind of relationship, you know, or friendship. Either way. All right, let's do our lucky numbers. We have number 10, number 10, number 15, 10, 15, and I always want to guess, but I don't know if I'm going to be right. I say 27. 27. Oh, 7. I was so close. I got 7 at least. All right. Okay, let's see. And then we're going to finish off with our inner child oracle cards, okay? And I'm just going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. I'll flip this over. It says 37. Write a letter. Write a letter to your inner child. Write a letter to your inner child. Sounds good. Okay, Aries, I want to tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free. Also, if you want to leave a comment, definitely do that. I read them all. Again, I want to tell you, I love you. I love you. I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days, and good night.